Hey guys, I'm going to talk about why new construction is better, even though it might cost a little bit more on the front end. I'm going to make such a convincing argument for you because I'm going to actually use my own real investments, my own real numbers from my tax return. So stay to the end so you see a breakdown of the comparison of each. Now, I'm going to make the best comparison possible for you in this argument because I'm actually going to show you an older multifamily property, the cost and the cash flow, and a breakdown of why I actually ended up selling it and went with the new construction. So real quick, the location of this triplex, because I know location, if you have a multifamily property maybe in the ghetto and you build a property in a nicer area, the numbers are different. So I just want to convince you that this multifamily property is awesome. It is actually, there it is. It was a triplex when I owned it. The guy we sold it to actually converted it to a duplex. We'll get into that later. But it is in the top of the hill, overlooks the city where I live. It is, as you can see, across the street from a park. Incredible location. You cannot get better. I live in the mountains. It's in a flat area. It's very walkable to the river. Anywhere you want to walk to, it's walkable. So it's an amazing location. Okay, you can see it's a good looking property. So when we owned it, it was a triplex, and it's actually, now I can laugh about it. When I owned it, I probably wanted to cry because let's see, this like the week before closing, that was that little small window in the back there, that was its own separate unit, a little one bedroom. And the guy that lives in this house, I was out here just kind of checking some punch list items that the buyer wanted me to take care of, and he said, "Hey, your tenants are out here. They had a fire, and they were spraying lighter fluid up in the air, and the flames were going above that roof, and the fire was going through the trees." So that's just a little bit of why I prefer single family over multifamily, but we'll save that for later. So another side note, we'll get into numbers here in a second. I just want to tell you these entertaining stories. So my buddy that lives actually a couple blocks away was like, nothing like getting, he posted on Facebook, nothing like getting woken up by the ATF and FBI. And the FBI or ATF had those stairs right there. They had invaded, like they had, I don't know, there was somebody that they invaded in that unit, and it was actually like my triplex. I'm like, oh, that's fantastic. So anyway, so the real numbers, I bought this for $150, and that one bedroom unit that we had, we were getting like $400 for it. We were getting like $600 for the one upstairs and another $500 here. So we were getting around $1,500 a month. So that's just real numbers for your revenue breakdown. The costs were crazy though. They weren't separately metered. So we were having to pay the electricity and the water, and it was just, the bills were insane that we were paying. We didn't have to do that for all the units, but we did it for the bottom one because it wasn't separately metered out. So my own house is bigger than this complete triplex, and their electricity and water bills were more, I mean, we're talking a lot more, like double the amount than my own personal house. So it was crazy. It never generated a profit, okay? It was always just kind of breaking even, barely paying for itself. But you're like, well, how does this help me? I'll just get like a separately metered product and get higher rents, Jimmy. Well, it was the plumbing bills. So that this house, I don't know when it was built, but the plumbing bills were crazy. The windows were old. The tenant quality, obviously from the stories I just told you about, they sucked. So tenant quality sucks. Your plumbing bills are gonna suck. your electricity. It was always having like electrical issues, even though it had been like rewired multiple times. I was always having water and plumbing issues. So we'll get into this in another video. If you have any specific questions of multifamily versus single family, let me know. But in my experience, and I'm talking about comparing my own tax returns, these older properties, they always have issues, okay? Electrical and plumbing issues. My wife and I still own our first house. It's an awesome house, high quality. It still has water issues and plumbing issues, electrical issues. It's just part of having an older property. A newer property, you don't have to worry about that. We're gonna walk a newer property now that's actually, interestingly enough, cost me around the same amount of money, $150. So we'll walk through the real numbers and I'll show you why new construction is better. Keep watching. Hey guys, so this is the new house plan that I love. It's a 4-bedroom, 2-bath plan. And as you can see, they're being built right now. Interior, everything should be wrapped up in the next month. But I get $2,100 a month out of these. Could get more, but I've already leased them, and I'm really excited about that. So obviously, new house, everything's covered, under warranty. There's a couple more that I've done like this, and you know, there's a small, like the water heater's not working, like whatever, and it's somebody installed it wrong or what have you, just a very minor issue. Everything's covered under warranty. I've had, for my new builds, I've had 0 maintenance expenses, knocking on wood here. So for the past couple years that I've been doing this, and the tenants have not left. It just works for everybody. They're great houses. Sorry for the road noise, but I wanted you to see just, you know, it's a great looking product. It's brand new. 0 water issues, 0 electrical issues. So yes, it costs more, but it takes some time to build a house. However, 2 at a time, like I do. However, you get a great finished product at the end there. You can see those will have some parking in the back and some fire pits we're installing, so I'm super excited about it. And the other thing is the financing issues is when you typically buy an older property, you have to put 25% cash down, and then you do the rehab in your own cash as well. So it's very cash intensive. And then you have to lease it up, wait 6 months, then do a cash out refinance. You know, that takes a fair amount of time. It's very cash intensive. Versus if you buy a lot, hopefully you can buy it in cash, if not an unsecured line of credit. Lot cost is typically going to be less than a rehab cost would be, in my experience anyway. And then you refinance anyway after to refinance out of the construction loan. So it's also, I think that's a favorable financing terms versus a rehab. This is another aspect. So this is a brand new house that's obviously it's being built across the street. It has already sold for quite a very large number, in my opinion, which is great for the builder. He's a really nice guy. So when this kind of stuff is happening in a gentrifying area or an up-and-coming area, you've got a lot of equity appreciation just in the time it takes to build, which helps you a lot. When I talk about building rentals, everybody always points to, gosh, like, don't you have a hard time with subs and just all that work? And it's like, no, don't have any problem at all, because I hire a great general contractor. He pays for himself with great subs, great material pricing, things like that. So that's what I recommend you do as well. And then I hear like, oh gosh, like just construction materials are volatile. You know, you got to deal with that. Well, yes, that's true. Okay, but you know, you got to budget everything with a margin of error, and then you if you rehab something, you're going to have construction material cost as well. So, all right, I hope this helps. If you have any questions or comments, hit me up in the comments, obviously, and hit like and subscribe. Thank you.